I also want to take this opportunity to recognize all of our guests who are visiting with us for Mother's Day today. And I also want to take this opportunity to recognize a special guest, Grace Wilkinson. Today is a special day in our lives and our calendars as we pay homage to the institution of motherhood. And in our spotlight today, as we honor our mothers, we want to spotlight the senior member of our congregation, Mrs. Grace Wilkinson, who has joined us today, accompanied by her daughters, Mrs. Sally Johnson of Oil City and Miss Linda Wilkinson of Erie. Who more appropriately to be featured in our tribute to motherhood than Grace, a longtime member of this congregation whose special attachments remain with her church family here. The decorations placed on the communion table before you today show a capsule tribute to Grace. On your left is a photo of our honoree when she graduated from Lansdale High School in Eastern Pennsylvania in 1935. On the right is our special guest of honor today. And between these two photos, representing the span of time, is a clock, which reminds us all of how time marches on, or as we look back upon it, how it seems to race by rather than march. Grace was born on September 23rd, 1917, on a farm in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and she and her late husband, Clarence Shorty Wilkinson, were married September 1941. In 1954, they moved to New Bethlehem, to the New Bethlehem area, where Mr. Wilkinson was the new superintendent of the Southwest Game Farm in Diston. Grace and her husband joined our church and made the church a focal point of their lives. They led the church's youth group for years, opening their hearts and their home to the youth and helped shape the lives of those who came under their influence. Grace has always been active in her many interests, from homemaking to gardening, to needlework, to cooking, the latter of which maintained a long-standing family tradition that featured spaghetti and meatballs at Saturday evening dinner. And she had worked in the cafeteria at the new Red Bank Valley High School for 20 years, where she also touched the lives of so many area youth. Following the death of her husband, Grace moved to New Bethlehem and lived here for many years before deciding several years ago to sell her home here and divide her time between the homes of her daughters and son-in-law, Gordon. Also in the tight family circle is a granddaughter, Dr. Michelle Pierce of Salem, Massachusetts. Now, would Sally and Linda please escort Grace to the front of our sanctuary and pin on her a corsage that is lovingly presented to her by our congregation as a tribute to her personally, as well as to all the women and mothers on this special day. So if you folks would come forward.
Linda, I'm going to let Linda do the honors.
All right.
Although she said the oldest sister is supposed to do this, and I never read that anywhere.
Well, I just want to say on a personal level, there's a verse that I think sums up Grace's life very well, and it's from John 1:19. And of his fullness have all we received, and grace for grace. You know, this September will be Grace's 100th birthday. And if you think about it, that's a very full life. And not just a life full of years, but a life full of love. And many of you who have known Grace know that that love has overflowed into many of your lives as well, in many, many lives in our community. And I can testify to that myself, just going to visit Grace. It's always such a blessing and a pleasure just to see how God's grace overflows in love and service to everyone she touches and everyone she meets. So as an expression of our appreciation for Grace, let's just have a round of applause. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day, Grace.
Thank you so much. There isn't any gift you could have given her for Mother's Day that would have meant more to her than bringing her here. So
Absolutely.
thank you for helping us make her Mother's Day so incredibly special.
And for Judy Tabler for arranging this.
For being very sneaky.
Thank you.
And whoever picked out the flowers that match her outfit perfectly. Was that you, Ron?
No, that wasn't me. I'll admit.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you. She loves you dearly.
Thank you.
We are so blessed.
At this time, we'll look to our praises and